Alright, I've been trying to avoid making this video for quite a while, but you guys snagged me so hard. Like, I'm just telling you, as soon as the devs see this video, we are getting nerfed to the ground. There's just no way the devs look at this video, they'll be like, ah, yes, that's balanced. Because they'll get blown away by a bunch of things, I'm telling you. But before this video starts, I wanna say one thing. I already speak too fast and try to get to the point as much as I can and try my best to simplify and summarize things for you. However, some of you are very hurtful and loud with your weird comments, rage baiting comments. Be like, oh my god, you got too long to speak. Like, what am I supposed to do? If you can't sit for more than 1 minute for your life trying to gain knowledge, then that is a problem on your own end, you know what I mean? Like, I just had to get that out of the way. But anyway, back to the video. So we're here. Here it is, the one you've been waiting for, Shadowhunter Witch Doctor Guide. We're talking about Shadowhunter. I'm not going to do a guide on Witch Doctor. I did not play the other specs. So, sorry about that, but I'm here for Shadowhunter. Now, what is Shadowhunter? It's actually the most Warcraft 3 themed class you can play right now, and if you're a fan of Warcraft 3, just like I am, yeah. I'll try my best to remember everything I want to say and not repeat myself sometimes. I haven't slept really well, but yeah. The first point. You are a hunter class. That means the best race is troll. And if you're not picking troll, you are throwing. Here is why. Number 1, bow spec. Your chance to critically hit with bows increases by 1%. And crit is like our second most important stat. Second, we have literally a mini Holy Infusion / Icy Veins. Third of all, we've got Beast Slaying. Damage versus beast increased by 5%. This means if the raid boss is tagged as a beast, you get 5% increased damage. Fourth, the Voodoo Shuffle reduces the duration of all movement and parry effects by 10%. This is mostly useful in PvP, but who knows? The boss can slow you down. Trolls be flippin' out, mon. Indeed, trolls are the most OP race since forever. It's just how it's always been since decades. So this is what I mean. If you're not picking troll for your caster or your hunter, let's just say hunter for now because casters don't need bow spec. You're throwing, like, what? Like, yeah, so I definitely recommend you to go with a troll. Maybe the only reason you wouldn't pick a troll, some people consider them ugly with transmogs, but there are some cool stuff. I'm not ugly, stop being racist. I mean, there, as you can see, I managed to do a good transmog. Hang on, actually, I don't care if you take a while, if this is too much for you. Where is it? I have to show up. This one. I have to show off. There you go. I have to show off. Anyway, so we took that out of the way. We talked about which race you should pick for Shadowhunter. Second point, is this spec good for leveling? Hell no, you're arranged. It's self-explanatory at this point. Can you AoE pull? Are you melee? Can you AoE pull without, like, getting dazed or stunned? And you're also a ranger. Like, as a bowman, you need distance in classic WoW from like, if they're in melee range, you can't shoot. So, but I still do it anyway. I'm not a I don't want to say the word, but anyway, like, I did it anyway with, like, I leveled using Shadowhunter. But what can I say? It's gonna be really slow for you, so definitely get with you a tank friend to tank for you. I don't know, back then in beta or by the way, this is my talents, but if you just go in and, like, leave the video and, like, just take a screenshot of the talents and, like, apply them, you're not gonna understand what you're doing without reading everything. So I recommend you to stay in to the end. But anyway, as I was saying, back in beta, we actually had pets for Shadowhunter, but, like, lower pets, and they would tank for us, but they removed it. But anyway, that's the second point I said. It's not good for leveling. You're a ranged DPS, and it's gonna be slow, but just do it anyway. 3. How does the class feel? Is it fun? Yes, absolutely. How can you describe the class? I'm gonna say this is 70% Hunter, 20% Shaman, 10% Mage. We literally have Call of the Elements, but I don't use it most of the time because that's not important. You'll see soon as we go through the video. You'll understand why I make the decisions and choices that I make. Okay, we have Conjure. This is not Conjure Mana Potion. This is actually Conjure Health Stone, Conjure Health Potion. We have Conjure Food, Conjure Mana. So there you go. That's like Mage twist, and we've got, like, Status Trap. Oh my god, our Warcraft 3 throwback. I don't need to explain this to your Warcraft 3 fans. If so, I would be disappointed. But for those who did not play World of Warcraft, if did not play Warcraft 3, so the ones who played World of Warcraft only, Status Trap is an AoE stun. We got Shadow Effigy, which is like a slowing totem. It's basically, and we have a spammable slow on top of this. We literally have a spammable slow. I'm about to show you. It's 50% spammable slow. This is good for PvP. By the way, PvP Andes, stick to the end. This is the best class right now for PvP. Dare I say, yes. I literally saw, like, my friend in PvP wreck a lot of people, and then I literally queued with them. And I was like the third top in the first BG, and then I was top in the second BG. I'm just telling you, this class is bonkers. It hits great for single target and AoE. We'll get into it in a bit. So let's start explaining abilities, okay? And talents. As a reclamation is basically steady shot. I'm about to show you. It's literally steady shot. And you can move all. Yes, you can move. This is steady shot. And it's like the most button we're gonna press. Well, technically yes, but we have a talent called a major talent called Spirit Volley that's gonna turn our reclamation to Spirit Volley. Most of our damage comes from Spirit Volley, but let's first go one by one. So as I was saying, this is steady shot. This is corruption, Hex of Malice. This is a corruption literally from, it's a dot that you have to maintain, and it gets refreshed. So you just press it once during an encounter, and you should definitely maintain it. If you don't, that's a huge DPS loss. So there you go. And we have Arcane Shot, which is Malefic Arrow. And then we have Spirit Glaive. You thought this was Glaive Toss, but it is a castable Glaive Toss that you have to direct. So it's a cast, and you have to stand in the right direction, okay? And then we have Shadow Flare. By the way, anything I don't mention as part of your rotation is obviously negligible. I've studied this spec for quite a while. That's why it took me a while to do this for you guys. And I'm giving you perfect info, so I'm not gonna say perfect, I'm not arrogant, but you know, I'm always down to learn. So back to learning abilities. We said this is Steady Shot, Corruption, Arcane Shot, a semi-glaive toss because it's castable. Look at this. Yeah, you have to, you don't have a target, yeah? Shadow Flare. By the way, this is useless without a talent. This is our main AoE ability, but right now it's useless because I didn't tell you it will spread our dot. We have a talent called Dark Lowest Incantation. Without this, and without Godslayer, we do 0 AoE damage. These two talents are literally like our enablers for AoE. Understood? Without these two talents, you do zero AoE. With these two talents, you are an AoE monster. Ask my friends and ask all the people who played with me. Okay? Again, this class is top-notch at AoE and top-notch at single target. I'm telling you, we're gonna get nerfed. Back to explaining. This is Serpent Ward. We literally have Serpent Wards, but I don't press. Hang on, let me show you. Where is it? This is off the global cooldown. Or actually, it's not, but it's spammable. However, there's no reason to like summon it always individually. You'll be focused on other buttons. However, I have it microed to the other thing that is, you know, to it that is off the global CG, global cooldown. Okay, this one. So I have them macroed here. I can share with you my macros in the description. This is literally from Warcraft 3 as well. Serpent Wards. They're important. And by the way, speaking of stats, priority, and best in slot, a lot of you guys keep asking, how do I know what stats do I need? The first thing you need to determine is your main stat. You go to your choose a spec, and it will tell you your main stat. Then you need to determine your stat priority. That is done through two things. You read like your talents. You have to read your talents. There are a few pointers like this. Critical strikes, apply this. And what does this do? This is insane. This debuff says increase your damage and crit chance by 1% and stacks to 5 times. That's basically 5%. 5% increased damage and crit chance. Based on what? Your crits. Critical strikes. That means you need a lot of crit. Simple. By the way, we have careful aim. Increase your ranged AP by 100% of your intellect. That first sentence means each intellect equals attack power. The second sentence says your ranged AP and spell power is increased by 1/4 of your agility. So agility is already giving us attack power, but now it also gives us a second attack power scaling because of this. So yeah, it's giving you extra attack power because of this talent. So now that I read this, It's already determined by you what you want. I go to the database and I need to know my main ability, the one that I press the most, which is Spirit Volley. By the way, yeah, so the link is in the description. Go to the Ascension website, click on Builder, and then select Koa Builder and select your spec and talents. And then hover over tooltips. Your spell will say it scales off ranged OP. Like Spirit Volley, take Spirit Volley for example. It says scales off ranged attack power. Only attack power. And it's the most thing we press. You will see in the rotation. So that means your stat priority is AP, crit, agi, int, SP, haste. We are literally haste capped. Haste is remove haste entirely from here. I'm sorry, I don't know why I put haste here. It should go without saying that you need some hit cap, but guess what, guys? Guess what? I only have 2 pieces giving me hit, and I am almost hit capped. Why? Because of this talent. Increase your hit chance by 5%. Luckily for us, we are not casters as shadow hunters, so casters need a lot more hit rating to get hit capped on the boss. Keep in mind, some classes have hit buffs and hit debuffs on the buffs, so you could safely say I'm already hit capped. It's saying here that I need 1.70% hit chance to get hit capped. Let me just show you something. Do you see in any of my gear having hit? So far, nothing except this and this. Only my legs and my boosts are giving me hit, and that's how much hit do I have? 13. I only have 13 hit rating and I'm almost hit capped. Thank goodness we are rangers, right? And not casters. I'm telling you, we're gonna get nerfed. I'm spilling the entire teas and like codex. So there you go. So yeah, your stat priority is raw attack power, which explains my best in slots. I'm gonna talk about best in slots soon after the rotation. But yeah, attack power is really important, and so is crit. You're literally building like a hunter. Literally, you're just a hunter with careful aim. So you definitely want to get like some gear with int a bit. You can substitute int. Again, 10 intellect here means 10 attack power. So that's 34 attack power on my chess piece. Anyway, back to explaining abilities. So this is what Call of Sseratus is. And now we come to the most cool ability, Mimic Ward. Actually, it's not the most. That's a bit of an overstatement. So Mimic Ward does exactly what it says, mimic. It mimics your arrows and abilities. So if, let's say I'm shooting Reclamation, it says it will shoot Reclamation. Here we go. I'm about to summon. That's 3 Mimic Wards, and I have 3 from talents. Look at this. Yep. So how many Mimic Wards can you get? 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 Mimic Wards shooting, and then there's you shooting. That's literally like a 4 players in 1 man. Wait, that sounds kinky. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, so that's Mimic Ward. That's the thing is, when I first started playing this spec, I thought it was complicated, not because it's complicated in terms of rotation, but rather when I have like Mimic Wards and Call of Sseratus, it makes me feel like I'm a Frost Mage and I have to press Icy Veins on cooldown. When you are used to using your cooldowns on like big pulls and bosses. But I wouldn't say like Mimic Ward and Sseratus is a cooldown anymore because it's less than 1 minute. But it's really like, you get what I'm trying to imply here, right? It feels weird. The rotation weirds out. Like you want to press them always when you're fighting because they have short cooldown and they deal a lot of damage. Our big cooldowns are Veil of Darkness and Shadow Avatar. Shadow Avatar is somewhere here, but never mind. Shadow Avatar is basically Icy Veins or Holy Power Infusion. And my Berserker is not on. You're probably wondering, wait, where is this? I have it macroed with Shadow Avatar because they're both off the global cooldown, and I just wanna. Where is it? There it is. Show tooltip Avatar. There you go. So there you go. And then Veil of Darkness. I used to say this is Curse of Elements, but this is literally way stronger than Curse of Elements. Read it. Curse the target, increasing damage 15% for 15 seconds. This is huge. This is huge. Huge, huge, huge. And then what do we have? We have Feign Death. So I have one complaint to the devs. Excuse me, devs, if you're watching this and about to nerf my spec. Why is it that... where is it? Was it here? Yeah. You're telling me Feign Death's icon is this? It has nothing to do with Feign Death at all. It literally looks like a staff. I literally had to change its icon on a macro because my muscle memory is used to the Feign Death icon from Hunters. Or something like definitely implies Feign Death. What is this? This is literally our Feign Death. Here. You're telling me this is Feign Death from the icon? I'm like, what the hell? I couldn't tell anything. Please change that icon. Thank you very much. Anyways, so I explained to you guys the abilities we need for our rotation for dealing DPS for both single target and AoE. I explained to you what our cooldowns are. The other stuff are basically utility. Let's go quickly over them. By the way, like half of the abilities are not in here because they're all PvP themed. So Mirage is a talent here. Mirage is basically invisibility from mage but with a spice. Let me show you. If you press Mirage, it leaves a version of you to trick people. Hence why my character laughs. However, as you can see, I see no players. I can't see that Blood Elf. But can you realize who I'm seeing? You can see the people in the spirit world who can see you. Who can see stealth units. Like, the guard can see stealth units. So I can see them in the spirit world, and so they can see me. So this is invisibility with a spice. That's what I meant. We have Vanish. Literally Vanish from rogues.
Real soon.
We have, this is our defensive, Vol'jin's Vigil.
Enough! You got some big mojo, Vol'jin. Maybe you're worth helping after all.
We also have a, so that was our defensive, and then we have a big defensive AoE for our friends.
Another deal? Another deal.
So, right now, everything else is like utility. We literally have an AoE Hex, and it's instant. See what I mean? This is good for PvP. I literally played PvP and like it was dominating. This is Hex, AoE Hex, and it became instant. That's all Hex right now, basically. But they're training dummies. This guy's annoying. Can you go away? Thank you. We have some buffs, but we can only apply one, and we obviously apply the, let's see, 881? 1100. Some of you all need to remember to start remembering to buff your friends. Every time I enter a random dungeon finder, people don't buff. They forget. So please remember, buffs are more important than ever before, especially on this server with the custom buffs they added. The other buffs we have, we can give people spirit buff, and we can give them reduce resources cost, like mana and stuff, which is useful for healers. So there you go. Now we've went over, I forgot Slither. Slither is basically disengage, but different. You know how disengage for hunters remove movement impairment? This is the same, but we don't jump a distance. We instead, we move really fast and transform into a snake. Now, if you're asking what are these macros, it's just because if I press Mirage, how do I leave that without right-clicking here over the buff? You have to make a macro, not an acro, oh my god, I need to sleep. A macro to cancel the debuff. Min-maxing. So we talked about stat priority, we talked about your best race, and we talked about what the spells are. Let's talk about rotation. Here, first of all, copy my talents. By the way, we are haste capped, as I already mentioned that. We have two buffs from talents. Attack power increased by 5%, and melee and ranged haste increased by 10%. We are literally haste buffed by default. You'll see what I mean. We are literally even suffering from delays, thinking that people are saying it's because we have too much haste, or it's just intended, or like it's actually a bug. Me and my friends have been trying to figure this out and report bugs to the devs about this, but I don't know. But right now, the part you've been all waiting for. How does the rotation looks like? Do I have to push too much buttons? No. Just hold your horses, please. Let's say this is the boss. How do I start fighting? The first thing you should press is... Actually, you should press 5 things at once, because these 4 are off the global cooldown, low-key. Well, these 2. You need to start with your dot, and then quickly press these 4, your haste buff, your Veil of Darkness, your Mimic Ward, your Call of Sseratus. Please remember, Spirit Volley deals the most damage. When does Spirit Volley happens? Casting Reclamation aka Steady Shot or Arcane Shot has a chance to transform your Reclamation aka Steady Shot into Spirit Volley, and it scales off AP. Now, this is a chance to transform it into a Spirit Volley, but we have Bonsamdi's Gift. When your Mimic Ward is active, your Reclamation is always Spirit Volley, for the duration of Mimic Ward. Each spirit now increases the damage of Spirit Volley, so you can see why we're doing a lot of damage, right? We have a lot of scaling for Spirit Volley here. Each spirit, by the way, I forgot to mention, look at this. This counts like combo points, low-key, but you don't spend them, they just stay with you. You generate spirit, you generate up to 5 spirits. I forgot to mention this. Do you see this around us? We don't have like a thing here, but you have to pay attention on your butt cheeks for your spirits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The spirits give you regenerate health and mana. Now they're about to disappear. But we have a talent that literally says my malefic arrow deals more damage per each malefic arrow. Let's see. Increase the damage dealt by malefic arrow by 5% for each active spirit on you. So that's 25% increased damage for each spirit. And we just said, each spirit now increases damage of spirit volley by 3%. So 3 times 5 is 18%. 18% increased damage for spirit volley. Okay. Not to mention we have this. As I mentioned before, we get 5% increased crit chance and damage. Now, let's do the rotation. You start with your dot, your wards, your CDs, and then you just spam 1 and 3. That's it. Ready? One last thing, Umbral Glaive. Umbral Glaive transforms our dot sometimes. Umbral Glaive is literally like the warden ability from Warcraft 3. It's like a dot. You throw this thing on the enemy and they get slowed. I believe. Do they get slowed here? I don't know. But it leeches from them. Umbral Glaive is useful because it refreshes the duration of our dot, so we don't have to reapply it. Though please remember, Umbral Glaive procs comes and goes. Sometimes you can get them one after the other. So if the Umbral Glaive still hasn't expired on your target, there's no reason to waste the one you have. But let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. You've been waiting for too long and I've been talking for too long. So, again, 2, this, and then this. Let's go. Spam, spam, spam. Okay, Umbral Glaive. Remember, it's off the global cooldown. Look at our damage. Look at our damage, bro. Look at our damage. Yeah, no. So that's our rotation. Is this too hard? The best way I can describe Shadowhunter for classless people is Locust Ranger, but Locust Ranger was actually harder to play. I would say that this is the baby sister of Locust Ranger. It's basically young and easy, whereas Locust Ranger back then, you needed at least 5 weak auras. We literally needed a weak aura to know our Wrath stacks, to know the Serpents, to refresh Serpent Sting and Insect Swarm. We needed one for Chimera Shot. You had to do a lot of things back then for for Locust Ranger. Maybe I was just a kid back then, and now I'm better experienced, but here you go. That is the single target rotation. 4 single target. But what about AoE? Okay. AoE is literally Shadow Flare, follow up by Spirit Glaive. However, the damage here will be low because these things, look at them, they're all like split. My Spirit Glaive is not going to hit a lot. But please remember, this talent says, if your Shadow Flare hits 3 targets, it will spread the corruption. So it's only a seed of corruption if it hits 3 targets. Understood? Dealing damage with Shadow Flare now applies Hex of Malice if it strikes at least 3 enemies. Got it? So again, your let's say a tank is now pulling. By the way, like I showcased in my previous video on Shadowhunter how I did in Scholomance and how I was doing in AoE. I was literally pulling 20k DPS. If the rotation is still like confusing for you, go back to that video. But again, you just like start with 5 and follow it up with 4, and you just do your normal stuff. Remember to always press Call of Sseratus. We have Voodoo Fire. Your Serpent Wards attack now have 40 chance to shoot Voodoo Fire. Up to 3 enemies. By the way, Voodoo Fire and Godslayer scale off SP. But not too much. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's not a big part of our damage during single targets, so that's why I put SP a little bit at the bottom. But it doesn't mean you don't need SP. So again, your stat priority is attack power, crit, agi, and spell power. Remember, agility gives crit and AP. Each agility equals AP and a very, very small niche percentage of crit. Okay? Now you understand why we need a lot of AP and crit. Because of this. That's our main stats. And as I said, like you just saw right now, do we need any haste? We literally have, I don't know, the haste we get is from our buff here. And the talents buffs. Haste. There you go. Berserking. Periodic damage done now has chance to increase your haste. We are literally haste capped by default for the last time. Increase your haste by 5%. I'm just giving devs ideas on where to nerf us at this point. But yeah, like I said, this is your AoE rotation. Follow it up by Spirit Glaive. it's not the damage here is not jumping enough because oh my god, it just jumped now. But again, they're not lined up well. But you can, if you want proof, you can watch my previous video where I do it on Skullomance and you can see how much damage I was doing on AoE. I think that covers up everything except for one more thing. People keep asking why we don't press Spirit Clips. Because it deals no damage and it's literally the most bait ability in the entire world. Do you want to waste 2 seconds of your rotation to do 0 damage? Up to you. Up to you. It's up to you. Oh yeah, best in slot. Best in slot. That's to wrap up the video. You're a hunter. People hate you because your best in slot comes from quests and crafting. You literally don't have to farm that much in dungeons. Let's go over them. Do I really need to tell you where to get this? This is in Winter Spring. Google, Strength of the High Chief, Quest Chain, Winter Spring. WoW Classic. Fighter Seal of Eldrithalas is from Dire Tomes, Dusty Tomes. Here on the video, you'll see the locations of Dusty Tomes. Now, I recommend you to queue Dire Maul and try and find them. Oh, for me, in my case, I bought the book for cheap price on the auction house. The name of the book you want that gives the attack power trinket is called The Greatest Race of Hunters. Now, it was a bit buggy because I right-click it, it doesn't give me the quest, it was said wrong class, obviously. So I opened the ticket. How do you open a ticket? You don't go help report a bug here. No. You go to... Well, actually, yeah, sorry. You go here. You don't report a bug, no. You talk to GM. Here is where they responded to me very fast and they completed the quest for me. So completing the quest means you have to go turn it in where? Inside Dire Maul. So if you end up loading the book inside Dire Maul and you get the book, The Greatest Race of Hunters, to stay in Dire Maul and turn it in. What I did was, I queued Dire Maul North. You kill the first boss and you go to the left. You open the gate and just turn it in. So these are your 2 best in slot trinkets. This is your best in slot ring from badges. Sorry, not badges, marks. I'm used to say badges because Wrath of the Lich King. You get this from Marks of Triumph. I already made a video guide on that, even though I shouldn't have. It's self-explanatory. Your endgame currency vendor is right here at Valley of Wisdom. And for Alliance, it's right here. Oops, sorry. Elowen Forest, where are you? There you go. It's right here in your keep. So these are your bits. This is from badges. Also, this bow is from oh my god, badges. Marks of Triumph. Now, my friend was like, you need a slower bow. I'm still trying to understand why do I need a slower bow, but everyone agrees and they explained it to me and I still don't get it. So if someone can explain in the comments why do we need slower speed bows. You see that speed right there, 3.10? We need slower speed bows because it hits harder, and we need damage per second rather than stats. Because naturally, when I hit max level, I was like, here, all dungeon items, bows. I thought this is our bis from Blackrock Caverns. But it deals less damage per second. So he said the damage per second matters the most on weapons here for us. So I guess he's definitely right. He knows more than me, but if someone can explain it more in details, I'd appreciate that in the comments. So why would you choose Lunar Splinter? By the way, remember, 8 intellect means 8 attack power. Spell power here is helping us. And tip for you, when Sogoth releases, you really need that bow from Sogoth. I shouldn't have said that, now the prices will skyrocket. But yeah. So that is your bow from Marks of Triumph. This is from quests, again. Dire Maul and Winter Spring. Marks of Triumph. Guess what? Your necklace is so goated, and guess what? From who? You go from Tyrian Fordring in Eastern Plaguelands, and it will take you 1 hour. However, please do note, the last quest where you escort his son, Talon Fordring, outside Hearthglen, he can phase out. And it took the GMs like so long to respond to me and help me with that. I had to like open a ticket. By the way, you should definitely read the story there. Uther is definitely a really bad character in the WoW lore. He's a villain. The way how he treated, Tyrian Fordring, the goat, the one who beated Arthas, the way how he treated him, and he basically said, screw you, Tyrian Fordring, for just showing compassion to the orcs. Again, even though they are literally the party of pro-life and religiousness. So he treated him so bad. He's daddy knows best type of thing. And not to mention, we're not even talking about Arthas here and how he didn't follow him to Northrend. Not to mention, he should have followed him, went after him, even if he disagreed with him, and took care of his apprentice. But anyway, so this is your Bis necklace. Until ZG, you will get the Mark of Hakar, which is literally similar stats. By the way, for weapon, let me talk about weapons. So I noticed something. Let's say, according to, I was like browsing items on Bisbeard, okay? There is, let's say, a Scarlet Monastery library. There's this item, 76 attack power. I am so in love with this item. It's one of those, it's like the top 5 weapons. I wanted it. However, this item is not sold on the Marks of Triumph, so it makes me wonder if it's not available for loot. So I go and queue Scarlet Monastery library on Heroic. I try to kill the first boss. It's the first boss. It drops the staff. Okay. He doesn't drop it, and he was dropping LBRS loot. So it makes me wonder that this is not even available in the game, because if you go to the Marks of Triumph, you don't see this in there. So the closest thing to this is the one from Stratholm, and you can get it there from Magister. This one. So the other one was giving 75 or 76 attack power, and here we have attack power 68. So that's at least, 76. This one is 68, so that's minus 8 attack power. Not huge, but again, if you can go get this. Again, haste rating means nothing for us at all. Haste rating is completely like omitted, believe it or not. So this is the closest I can get to that weapon. However, people say the best in slot weapon is the Cenarian Circle Polearm. The one where the Exalted Polearm Pike from Silithus faction, Cenarian Circle. But I beg to differ. I'm not convinced. For me, it's either Peacemaker right now, or that Polearm, or yeah, the Polearm people are talking about, or it's this one. I have my eyes on this one right now. This is hit rating, but I'm not gonna get hit soon. I'll tell you why. This is 22 attack power, 21 crit. I like the crit and some spell power. Where's my bank? You really need to go get Black Dragon Scale. Focus on getting legs, boots, and shoulders, not chest, because the chest will get replaced in ZG. There's a really stronger chest in there. But look at this. The stats on Black Dragon Scale are really goated. Hit rating and crit. Look at the amount. Look at the set bonus. Look at everything. The stats are insane here. Very hugely insane. I need the 3 set bonus for the crit. The crit is insane on them. One more thing. If you freshly hit level 60, these 2 weapons will carry you like into heroics until you get a good, decent weapon. These are both World Forge items. Look at this. I'm gonna compare it. It's so close to it in terms of power level. You get the Blight Bomber from Eastern Plaguelands behind Nathanos Blightcaller, right here. You know who he is. Yeah, you get him there. And you get the pike here, in Ajar. It's literally a heroic dungeon loot at this point, but you might get better, like the Peacemaker. So this will help you if you like screwed up and opened your chests before reaching level 60 and you don't have enough gear to queue heroics. That should carry you. And one of the rings is also in Worldforge. Where is it? Favorite. This ring is also useful. Where is it? Searing Gorge or Duskwood. One of them is bugged. I don't know which one is it. Which one is it? Show. This ring is really good. Necklace is really good. Go ahead. Try it out. 6 agility, crit, attack power. Everything we need. So there's this necklace. Blight Bomber. By the way, Owl Beast Talon, my friend is convinced that this will become best in slot once we can upgrade it to Epic. We don't know how much is the increase in spells. Abilities have a chance to increase your range attack power, spell power, crit. The moment I saw haste rating and armor penetration, I told him, no, this is bad. But I'm not convinced, yeah. I think you guys agree with me, because armor penetration, we are not a physical class. Maybe we are, I don't know if Spirit Volley is armor penetration at this point. Haste rating is completely bad, so you get the idea. Spell power is really low. We just need attack power and crit. Raw attack power and then crit. You're literally building like a hunter. Okay. There's this helmet. Like, look at my helmet. 41 attack power and 26 crit. However, this is the closest one you get from Blackrock Caverns. But I really need the crit. I'm right now desperate for crit. I want to at least be above 20% crit. Right now I'm 19%. I'm close there. But this helm is also close there. 22 agility means it has higher attack power. So the helm I'm wearing is just better in terms of crit. Remember that agility converts to attack power and a very, very small percentage of crit. So there you go. Let's continue about our best in slot. You need Beast Stalker. This is one of the best shoulders in the game you can get. But again, we're gonna replace it with Black Dragon Scale as soon as I have my Black Dragon Scale legs and boots. that's pretty much it, really, for which Shadowhunter. I didn't expect to sit this long, but I was trying to help you as much as I can with stat priority, talents, rotation, race choices, and leveling tips, and you know, gear tips, and a little bit of commentary. But that's pretty much it. Please consider liking and subscribing and leaving a beautiful comment rather than a rage baiting comment. Bye bye.
Thank you.